My name is Scarlett. I'm a 37-year-old childless, working housewife. Today is supposed to be special. It's not just our 5th wedding anniversary, it's also my husband Everett's birthday. He's the same age as me. Everett is a handsome and charming salesman at a well-known company. On the surface, he seems quite successful. But the truth is, he often works late, claiming he's entertaining clients. As a result, we don't see each other much anymore. Our wedding had been simple, just a weekday ceremony with family and a few close friends. We both had weekend jobs at the time and struggled to find a common schedule. Everett was the one who strongly pushed for the simple weekday event. I didn't mind back then. I was in love. I believed in us. So, for this anniversary and his birthday, I wanted it to be different. I asked him in advance to come home early. I took a half day off work, determined to make it special. I went all out. I bought his favorite Wagyu steak, his favorite wine, and a cake from the fancy department store downtown. I even set the table in our little dining nook with candles, napkins folded into roses, and music softly playing in the background. I waited eagerly for him to walk in and smile. But he didn't come home. Despite my repeated requests, he didn't return that night. Instead, I received a single, emotionless email. Urgent work came up. Staying at the office. I was disappointed, sure, but I understood. Work happens, right? I quietly cleaned up the untouched dinner, packed away the cake, and went to bed with a lump in my throat and a gnawing doubt in my heart. He said he wasn't busy earlier this week. The next morning, I went to work like usual, but my messages to him remained unread. No responses. No calls back either. A sense of unease started creeping in. Finally, I called his office. What they said made my blood run cold. Mr. Everett? Oh, he resigned yesterday, the receptionist said casually. He's already accepted a new position in a neighboring prefecture.
What?
He resigned? Yesterday? On our anniversary?
He didn't tell me.
Not a word. Not a hint. Panicked, I rushed home. His shoes were still by the entrance. I flung the door open and ran to our bedroom. There he was, calmly packing a suitcase. My heart was pounding. What's going on? I gasped. Everett barely looked at me. Clicking his tongue, he muttered, "So you already found out," and casually handed me a stack of divorce papers. My knees almost buckled. What's going on? I repeated, my voice trembling. Everett looked at me with cold, indifferent eyes. Let's get a divorce. I wasn't in the mood to go out, but I had already paid the membership fee for my high school reunion. And honestly, I needed a distraction. Ever since Everett walked out, I hadn't been able to contact him. No calls, no texts, just silence. The frustration was eating me alive. I figured going out, even just for a night, might help me reset. The reunion turned out to be more eye-opening than I expected. Many of my former classmates were divorced or single mothers, and yet, they were glowing with resilience and confidence. Everyone seemed to be living strong, independent lives. Until that night, I had quietly held on to hope that maybe, just maybe, Everett and I could fix things. But suddenly, the idea of reconciliation didn't sit right. If we did get back together, I'd have to follow him to his new job in the neighboring prefecture. That would mean giving up my current job, where I'd worked for the past 17 years since graduating from junior college. I earned a decent salary, something I'd never be able to match elsewhere. And more than that, Everett had completely rejected me. For the first time, I allowed myself to consider giving up. The final push came a few days later. I received a phone call from Everett. Not to check in or explain anything. No, it was about logistics. He had apparently been contacted by our real estate agent. The lease renewal was coming up. I told them we'd move out in a month. Get rid of everything by then, he said, as if it was a routine chore. I was stunned. I'm still living here. You didn't even ask me? I'm the one renting it, he snapped. I don't need to consult you. His combative tone made something inside me crack. The man who once told me I was his whole world now couldn't even bother to ask before evicting me. Fine, I said coldly. I'll clean up my things this weekend or next. But don't expect me to handle everything. Oh, and get rid of not just your stuff, he added, but also everything left in my room and the furniture.
What?
I felt my temperature rise. Are you serious? This apartment was yours when you were single, yes, but most of the furniture was purchased after we got married with your credit card, maybe, but for us. You're really going to leave me to throw out everything? I'll dispose of the things I used, I continued. But the rest? You're responsible for them and the cost.
He didn't reply.
He just hung up. That was it. That was the moment I truly made up my mind. I wasn't going to cling to someone so selfish and heartless. That weekend, I began sorting the apartment. As I opened drawers and packed boxes, I stumbled upon a stack of shared memories, vacation tickets, old photographs, notes we left for each other on the fridge. I smiled bitterly. Then, tucked behind some files in our closet, I found Everett's high school graduation album. I had never really looked at it before. Come to think of it, all the friends he ever introduced me to were from after college. That struck me as odd. Curious, I flipped through the album. That's when I noticed something strange. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but something in that album made my heart race. I closed it slowly, setting it aside. The next morning, I mailed off the divorce papers and sent Everett an email. I've submitted everything. It's over. A week passed. Then one evening, I received a message from him, finally. But it wasn't an apology or an explanation. It was a photo, a marriage registration form, with his name, and another woman's. I stared at it, my stomach sinking. Moments later, my phone rang. It was Everett. Did you see it? He asked casually, as if showing off a new pair of shoes. What does this mean? I asked, my voice shaking. It means exactly what it looks like, he said smugly. I just had a wedding ceremony. I got remarried. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You're kidding, right? Nope. She's super beautiful, rich, and has an amazing personality. She asked me to marry her the moment our divorce went through. Isn't it amazing? I was speechless. So this was it. He was cheating on me all along. I'm popular. Unlike you, who only has your job going for you. Everett sneered over the phone. Oh, and by the way, her father built us a house on their land. I transferred to her hometown with his help. It's a mid-sized company, but I'm already an executive. His voice dripped with pride.
It was so obvious now.
He wasn't calling to inform me. He was calling to brag. Brag about his shiny new life with the woman he'd been cheating on me with. He divorced me, claiming I was the problem, that I didn't support him, that I prioritized work too much. But the truth? He had been having an affair for over 2 years. They met at a pub during a work gathering. She had been sitting at the next table with 3 other women. When Everett spilled a drink on himself, she leaned over and wiped his shirt with a delicate, embroidered handkerchief. And apparently, that was all it took. She's the same age as us, Everett explained, but she looks like she's 10 years younger. Elegant, beautiful. Totally different from you. He told me how he invited her to dinner to thank her, and found out she was the daughter of a wealthy landowner. Her marriage had been arranged, but she was unhappy. Her husband had been cheating on her, too. She said she needed to fix herself. Everett gushed. She's humble. Not like you. I was instantly drawn to her. Apparently, Everett pursued her relentlessly, even while she remained legally married. I stared at the phone in disbelief. Isn't it normal to be cautious of a woman who starts dating another man without ending her current marriage? But Everett didn't care. Blinded by love, or perhaps by luxury, he didn't question anything. A woman who doesn't support her man is no good, he said. You prioritized your job and didn't care about me. You're not the right partner. You just wanted someone to carry you. That was it. I snapped. You have some nerve, I yelled. You accuse me of being selfish while cheating on me for years? And with a woman who juggled 2 men without blinking? Everett scoffed. I'm glad I'm finally free from someone like you. Stella is the best.
Stella.
That was her name. She's named after the double cherry blossom, he continued dreamily. She was born when they were in full bloom. Her parents named her after that. Isn't it beautiful? They're celebrities, you know. I listened to him speak with such devotion, completely enchanted by a name. And then, I remembered something. Something small, but incredibly important. I decided to play along. Wow, I said, voice sweet as honey. Did you really marry such a wonderful woman? You're not lying, right? Everett, clearly baited by my disbelief, puffed up with pride. Of course I did. She has an amazing background, an incredible personality, and unmatched beauty. He sent me a picture of the two of them at their wedding. And the moment I saw it, I couldn't hold it in. I burst out laughing. Everett's voice tightened. What's so funny? That's proof we really got married. Oh, I believe you, I said, still giggling. I really do. I'm just impressed. He didn't get it. Stop laughing. We're having a baby, too. In 3 months, we'll have a little girl. And even if she doesn't look like Stella, she'll still be beautiful. A dreamy sigh escaped him. She'll definitely be gorgeous. Of course he believed that. He was always a sweet-faced, idle-looking man who thought the world would bend to him.
But me?
I was laughing for a whole different reason. Because I recognized Stella. And she had no idea I knew. For some reason, Everett got flustered and blurted out, "No, she doesn't need to look like me." I burst into laughter again. Embarrassed, he snapped, "Go crazy on your own."
Goodbye.
And with that, he hung up. But I couldn't stop smiling. He'll find out eventually why I laughed so hard, I thought. And I couldn't wait for that day. We went through the usual divorce chaos, alimony and property disputes, but I had a good lawyer. In the end, I walked away with millions. Everett agreed to pay alimony just to avoid causing stress to Stella during her pregnancy. How noble of him. 2 years passed. Silence. And then, out of nowhere, an email landed in my inbox. "Please, Scarlett. I'm begging you, just hear me out." I hesitated, but curiosity got the better of me. A phone call followed the email almost instantly. And yes, it was Everett. This time, he wasn't bragging. His voice was different. Defeated.
The issue? His daughter.
You know how people always say children tend to resemble their parents? Well, apparently, this baby girl looked nothing like the beautiful, elegant Stella. Trying to suppress my laughter, I said, "She's only 2, Everett. Kids change as they grow." But he wasn't convinced. "She doesn't look like me either," he added in a low voice. I bit my lip to keep from laughing. "Really? Not even a little?" "No," he admitted quickly. "But it's okay. It's fine." He had secretly done a DNA test. And the results? Undeniably his and Stella's child. But something still gnawed at him. "Scarlett," he asked slowly, "when I told you 2 years ago that Stella was pregnant, you laughed. A lot. Did you know something?" I smiled. "Oh, right. I guess I never told you. Stella and I went to the same high school." Everett was stunned. She was in my grade. We never shared a class, so I didn't know her well. But I remember her. She had a reputation. Entitled. Arrogant. A landlord's daughter who looked down on everyone. Then I added, almost casually, 2 years ago, during our class reunion, her name came up. People were talking about her extensive plastic surgery. Stella, back in high school, had single eyelids, small eyes, a button nose, and a slight overbite. Apparently, she was insecure about her looks and underwent multiple procedures at a top clinic in New York after graduation. She didn't attend the reunion, I said, but a friend sent me her before and after pictures. Everett was quiet. Then he muttered, "I've never seen any of her childhood photos, not even a graduation album." "Right," I said, "because she didn't want you to know." His voice cracked. Was I deceived? "Oh, and there's more. Stella cheated on you, didn't she? You're not her first husband. In fact, she was sued for alimony by multiple ex-wives of her exes." Everett sounded like he was hyperventilating. "I'm going to confront her." "Maybe you shouldn't," I cut in. "Why not?" "Well," I said slowly, "you're upset because the child doesn't look like either of you, right? But that makes sense." "Why?" "Because you've both had plastic surgery." Silence. "How did you?" "When I moved out of our old apartment, I found your high school graduation album. You look like a completely different person." I was shocked. The puzzle pieces clicked into place. It explained why Everett never introduced me to his college friends, why our wedding was so small, and why he always avoided taking family photos. "I don't think there's anything wrong with plastic surgery," I added. "But you do realize your child may resemble your original faces. That's just genetics." What should I do?" I didn't even hesitate. "Be a normal father. DNA confirmed she's yours. The rest is your problem." Then I hung up. And this time, I didn't laugh. I blocked his number and email address right after. Everett was a shallow man, so obsessed with appearances that he couldn't accept his own child simply because she didn't match the image he had in his mind. I guess the cherry blossoms weren't so perfect after all. About a year later, a friend of mine, who was a child around the same age as Everett and Stella's daughter, showed me a photo of her little one entering kindergarten. The child was adorable, but what caught my attention was something else. She didn't resemble Everett or Stella at all. Not the current versions of them, anyway. According to my friend, who had somehow become friends with Stella, even Stella had expected her daughter to look like the surgically enhanced Everett. And now, Stella complained nearly every day. "I shouldn't have given birth to such a child. Pull. Heartless." It was clear Everett and Stella were truly the worst couple imaginable. To top it off, Everett had already cheated again. My friend told me Stella had even come to her for divorce advice. Everett really is an idiot. If they divorce, he'll be stuck paying both alimony and child support. And considering Stella's wealthy background, if she hires a skilled lawyer, she might just take him for everything he's worth. But the worst part? Even the local kindergartners know about Stella's plastic surgery. Her daughter is being excluded by the other kids, teased with whispers like, "Your mom is actually ugly." It's heartbreaking. Thankfully, Stella's parents seem to genuinely love their granddaughter. But still, it's not the little girl's fault. She didn't ask to be born into this mess. As for me, well, my life has never felt lighter. I rented a cozy apartment in a prime location, just a short commute from work. Now I get home early enough to do laundry, tidy up, and still have time to unwind. Weekends are all mine. I cook, read, take long walks, and finally chase the hobbies I once shelved for a loveless marriage. I also reconnected with an old classmate from our high school reunion. We're both divorced, both healing, and both finding joy again in the little things. Our friendship has deepened naturally. No pressure, no drama, just warmth and understanding. While Everett is busy spiraling, I'm finally blooming. Some flowers take a little longer to open, but when they do, they shine brighter than ever. Please feel free to comment below if you liked this. Remember to like and subscribe for more.